I never liked office parties. Too many forced smiles. Too much fake laughter. But my wife Emily enjoyed them, and I never wanted to be the husband who held her back. So that Friday evening I buttoned a crisp blue shirt, tried to look like I belonged, and walked with her into the downtown hotel ballroom where her company held its annual celebration. Emily worked in marketing, which meant everyone there seemed just a bit louder, more polished, more rehearsed than necessary. But she fit right in, confident, warm, the kind of person whose presence made others feel alive. I watched her greet coworkers with the smile that first pulled me in years ago. Sometimes I wondered if she even knew how much light she carried. For the first hour everything was fine. We mingled, made small talk, exchanged names I forgot instantly. The music thumped. Glasses clinked. Laughter rolled through the room in waves. It wasn't my scene, but she looked happy. That was enough. Then I noticed him. Ryan. Mid-30s. Tall. The kind of guy who walked like the world owed him something. I'd heard the name before. Emily mentioned him once or twice with a polite shrug. He's a bit much. Watching him in person, I understood exactly what she meant. He hovered near her in conversations. Laughed too loudly at her jokes. Leaned in too close. Nothing dramatic. Just enough to tighten something in my chest. Emily didn't seem to notice. Or maybe she did, and chose grace over confrontation. She had that quiet strength people often mistake for softness. I stayed close. Not possessive, protective. I trusted her. I didn't trust him. Later in the evening, after the drinks had loosened the room, Emily stepped away to talk to an older colleague she admired. I stood a few feet behind her, checking my phone, when Ryan slid into the space beside her like he belonged there. At first it looked harmless. He said something. She gave a polite laugh. Then she shifted. Created space. He erased it instantly. And then, without hesitation, his hand landed on the small of her back. Not a brush. Not a friendly tap. A deliberate, lingering touch. Emily froze. Her shoulders tensed. Her smile faltered. She tried to subtly move his hand away. He didn't budge. Something inside me snapped quietly, cleanly, like a rope pulled too tight. Before I even realized I'd moved, I stepped forward. It wasn't anger. It was clarity. Cold, steady clarity. I placed my hand on his wrist, firm, controlled, and removed it from my wife. Not violently. Not dramatically. Just unmistakably. He blinked at me, startled. Hey man, relax. No. My voice was calm. Too calm. You don't touch my wife. Emily's eyes widened. Not in fear, but in relief. Ryan raised his hands, pretending innocence. It was just a friendly. No, I said again. Friendly doesn't look like what you did. And she didn't ask for your hands on her. A few heads turned. I didn't care. Emily instinctively stepped closer to me, like she finally felt safe. Ryan's smirk cracked, replaced by something like unease. Before he could speak again, a voice behind us asked, "Is there a problem here?" Emily's manager stood there. Concern tightened across her face. "Yes," I said plainly. "There's a problem." I stepped aside just enough for her to see Emily. He touched her without permission. The manager's eyes snapped to Emily. Emily nodded. A small, tired nod. Relief flickered across her manager's expression. She didn't doubt her. Ryan opened his mouth to spin a story, but I cut him off quietly. "It's done. There's nothing more to discuss." The manager turned to him sharply. "This isn't acceptable." His jaw tightened, but he stepped back. He looked at me one last time, irritation, disbelief, and maybe a hint of respect tangled together. I didn't blink. Emily let out a breath she'd been holding. She leaned into me, soft and grateful. "Thank you," she whispered. We moved to the edge of the room. Her voice was steadier now, but her expression carried the weight of what nearly became something worse. I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't want to make a scene. "You didn't have to," I said. "I've got it." She smiled, small and tired. Not joy, relief. The rest of the night was a blur. Ryan kept his distance. I stayed close, present but unobtrusive. And every so often, I caught him glancing our way, but the confidence was gone. On the drive home, Emily finally spoke more freely. "I've gotten used to managing situations like that," she said, trying not to make waves. She paused. "I didn't realize how heavy it's been." You shouldn't have to handle that alone, I said. Not tonight. Not ever. She reached for my hand, squeezing it gently. Thank you for standing up for me. I didn't expect anyone to do that. It shouldn't be unexpected, I said. It's necessary. Later that night, after she went to bed, I sat alone replaying everything. It wasn't just about Ryan. It was about boundaries, how easily people cross them, how easily they're dismissed. Standing up wasn't an outburst. It was a principle. A line I refused to watch someone cross. What mattered wasn't the crowd or the music or the ballroom lights. It was that moment, his hand, her tension, my clarity. By the time I finally went to bed, a quiet satisfaction settled over me. Not pride. Not triumph. Just the steady certainty that I did the right thing. And something had shifted between Emily and me and inside me. A quiet strength. A calm conviction. Respect is non-negotiable. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stand steady when someone else tries to cross the line.